When authoring CSS, you have a few options available to you as to where you can write styles. In this course, we'll cover those options, how you should use them, and how they affect your web page. So each option has its advantages, or it might have its disadvantages. So let's review the different ways we can use to apply CSS to our pages. Some people say there are only 3 ways to associate styles with your HTML documents, but in reality there are 4 different ways available to you. Most commonly used methods are Inline CSS and External CSS. So let's start off with Inline CSS. Well, you can simply use a style attribute of any HTML element to define style rules. The style attribute can contain any CSS property. Let's see with an example. So let's give this paragraph a color of white and a background color of tomato. So as you can see, the syntax can be a little bit cumbersome, as you start with the style attributes and then follow with a semicolon separated list of CSS rules. Generally, using an inline style is discouraged, as they are inefficient and can be very hard to overwrite or maintain. And editing an inline style can be a nightmare. But as I said, each way has its advantages and disadvantages. I believe that inline styles are only to be used when creating quick HTML CSS mockups or for HTML5 emails. So the second way to use CSS with your HTML documents is called internal style sheet, and they are only applied to the documents that they're found in, which makes them inefficient and repetitive for site-wide styling, but perfect for targeted styles for a particular page. And to apply embedded style, you use the style element or tag. This tag is placed inside the head tag. So there are some attributes you can associate with the style tag, like the type attribute. So here we say that it is a CSS file, and you have a media attribute that is optional. Well, you can use it to specify what type of media you would like to apply these styles to, and this gives you a way to apply different sets of styles. If you don't include the media attribute, its default value is all. Or you can specify to apply the styles to printers, desktops, and mobile devices. So when we preview the results in the browser, this is what we get. So it's working. As I said, each method has its own advantages and disadvantages. With inline styles, it is very difficult to maintain multi-page websites. So you're gonna have to do some copy and paste if you want to apply the same styles, and if you want to change a specific property, you'll have to visit each HTML document and change it locally. One of its advantages is that it can be perfect for targeted styles for a particular page. For example, if we go to google.com or .uk, you can see that they are using internal styles. So now let's move to the third one. The third way to use with your HTML documents is external style sheet. This method gives you the ability to separate the content or the presentation, making the maintenance fairly easy. With it, you can apply one style sheet, one CSS file to multiple pages. So let's see how it works. This method is applied by using a link tag in the head of an HTML document. This tag has attribute like rel, which is required, so we must say that is a style sheet, then the type attribute, then href to localize the CSS file, so here you write the path to your CSS file. And the CSS file is simply created by adding a .css extension. And in that file, you write your CSS rules. Now, you have also the ability to add the media attribute. So finally, another way of using an external style sheet is with a CSS import statement. It lets us import CSS from other style sheets. And to include it, you just write import followed by a set of quotes and a semicolon. And inside the set of quotes, you can specify the path to the CSS file. This method can make our CSS modular by letting us separate our CSS into different styles. For example, you can have a small CSS file for the navbar, another one for the footer, and then you combine them together with the import method. By now, you know all the different methods that you can use to apply CSS to HTML documents. With that in mind, you'll become a better CSS developer.